topics, but in general. See, the beauty about programming languages is whether it's Python or whatever, if you learn one, then you can easily adapt it to any other language. It's more of a syntax thing. Of course, there are more stuff to it, but you can say you already know 80% of it. The only 20% is you can learn on by your own self. You don't even need somebody like me or anybody. And then you can say, hey, I know Scala also. And then you can say, no, you can say, I know R as well. So, and 80% of Python, I would say, is all about your logic. That is why I prefer Python, and that is why everybody prefers Python in the developer world. So almost 80% of the developers today like to code in Python. That was a study done some time back. So there is a reason for it, because it's so easy to understand. So what I'm saying is, if your logic is good, your Python is pretty much 80 to 90% done. It's only the rest 10% syntax and stuff. And then again, you can use the same knowledge to learn Java or JavaScript or Scala or R or whatever you want to learn in your field. All right. So that also brings me to another point. Python also has object-oriented programming concepts. I know most of the people get scared when they hear oops. I myself used to be scared when I was in engineering, God knows how many years back. But to be honest with you, I've learned C++ and I've done some more oops there. But the oops concept in Python is so easy that you would not even think that you're doing Python. Sorry, programming language. But that is for later days. It's not going to be right here. So you first have to understand the basics. And one of the most important things to get there is modules and functions, basically. Modules are nothing but functions and classes, or an object-oriented programming concept. So you have to understand functions first, and we will be taking that in depth and all those things. Let me go ahead and start my sharing my screen. Do you guys have any questions in the meanwhile? Okay, I take it as a no. Are you guys seeing this empty Word document?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So basically, I want to talk about how we are going to do Python, and let's start with the intro day one, although we have less time left. Before we do that, I don't know if anybody heard my session yesterday. So there are many editors that you can use for Python. Actually, even before I go there, I don't know if somebody might not know how to download and stuff. So let me quickly give that. So before you start, what you have to do is go to python.org. So this is like your Bible for Python. You don't have to download any other books. You don't have to buy any other books. I mean, you're free to do that, but I'm saying this website has one of the documentation that is basically out of the every world. You don't need anything else if you go through this. Everything is there, and it's very detailed with examples as well. You can actually self-teach yourself Python using this website, and they maintain it very well too. So your first step is go to downloads. Python 3.9.0 came out, and depending on Mac or Windows, whatever you have to install it. And that is the first prerequisite. So I'm gonna send this in the chat. Where did the chat go? All right. So you guys can take a look at it and download it here. And like I was saying, documentation is really the best. So some people who have some advanced knowledge and have some experience with it, you can start from here. Basically, you don't even need to know these. And it is very nicely categorized if you see. So Python packaging, as I was saying earlier. So PyPK packages are all here. So NumPy, SciPy, all your data science stuff. You will see a lot detailed documentation here, which can really help you. But if you are somebody who is fresh out of college or trying to understand, then stick to this part. So if you look at this beginner's guide, you can see a lot of good documentation here. All this is, you can download this, and this is a very, very nice documentation part. One thing that I want every one of you to try in your free time is, and after maybe every class or however you want to do, maybe on weekends, if you want to practice some stuff and try to get more about the concept, you can use these free tools. They all are free. Code Academy is pretty good. DataCamp is pretty good. I've used Hack Science is very good. It's free as well. So this will adapt to you and your knowledge. You can first fill in like you're a beginner or you're a moderate level, whatever level you are, and try to solve questions there. And if you're stuck, we have the WhatsApp group. Please post the question there and somebody would be able to help you. But this is a great way to start learning and start practicing basically. And the more you practice, the more you become good in Python. That's the best thing. So when you going back to download and installation, when you download, you just have to follow the instructions. It's pretty easy. And when you are finished with it, you will get three things in the whole package. It's all part of the same package, but internally, what Python people do is they bundle three things. So one is called, one second, where is my thing? So when you download the Python, right, you get three things. One is called Python, what's wrong with me? Python VM. Then there's something called as PIP, and then there's something called as idle. So Python VM is a little bit of a concept which we'll talk about it later. You might not understand much, but PIP is something which I will talk in a second, and why do we need it, and what is the use of it. And there's something called as idle. So idle is the integrated development environment that is inbuilt with Python, and it's a very handy tool. So once your Python is downloaded and installed, you can go, if this is Windows 10, sorry, can we go on mute, please? I can still hear some noise. Is it Sriram? Can you go on mute, please?
No, no.
Thank you. So, like I was saying, all these three packages get installed together when you download a Python package from that python.org. And how you launch idle is, like I was saying, this is Windows 10. So apparently there are minor differences with if you have Windows 7 or 8 or whatever you have. But go to this application. So I have a 32-bit. There's a reason, because I was working on a project. But if your Windows supports 64-bit, which most of the modern day laptops do, please install the 64-bit. So once you do that, you get this kind of a window, and this is nothing but your idle, this part, which is your integrated environment for Python. The beauty of this is you can actually write anything here and see if it works. It's like a testing. Sorry, I didn't give print. And that's another thing in Python. See, if you were writing this program in C or Java or anything, you would at least need 5 lines. But here, like we are talking, like you guys were saying, I am new to Python. Like I said, just as if we're talking in English. That's all it is. Just put a print statement that will print it out and put a quotes, and that's it. We'll talk about it. Why do we need these? But like I said, 80% of it is just what you think in your mind. Just convert it into Python, and there your program is. This is a small program to write. I am new to Python. Now, idle is very good in the respect that you can actually test it. So if I was thinking maybe this will work or this will not work, what I did was, instead of writing it in a file, I just quickly typed it here and saw it is working. Hey, that's good. So like similarly, if I wanted to do sum of two numbers and I wanted to do, I'm not sure if A plus B will work, or sorry, or whether I should do this, sorry, what will work? I don't know. So best thing is try it out here. So let me first give this try. Oh, it worked. So what about my other thing that I was thinking? See, it worked A plus B, but here it worked 15. So now you know that this is the right syntax and this is not the right syntax to print sum of two numbers. So that way, this is very handy. But I won't say that you can write your whole program here and you should use this. You can, but again, it is going to be a lot of a challenge to save it and then do it for later. So I personally like, so along with, after doing the download of the Python, you should also download an IDE. There are third-party tools which are free. So one of them is called VSC, or Visual Studio Code. Then the other one is called PyCharm, Jupyter. There are so many, and they're all free. Jupyter is part of Anaconda now, so you can use any of them, and they're all used company-wide. But I personally prefer VSC, Visual Studio Code. It's from Microsoft. Again, all these are free and open source. The reason I like VSC is, and you will see also when we go ahead with more classes in the coming days, it's very easy and it helps you a lot when you're actually writing the program. And as a statistical figure, more than 80% of developers use VSC today, more in today's world. But again, you're free to choose any editor. It's not like I'm asking you to use VSC, so you should use VSC. But for everything in this series, I would be using VSC. And this is how it looks after you will download it. You can just do Google download Visual Studio Code, and that's it. You can download it. And again, like I said, if it's your 64-bit or 32-bit, just use one of those and download it and keep it ready for classes from tomorrow. So the second part that gets downloaded is PIP. So PIP is nothing but an extension to Python. And in the older releases, so if you see, I have Python 3.8.3, the current is 3.9 something. So when there was a Python 2 version as well, 2.7 and 2.8, but they are obsolete now. Nobody uses it, so we're not going to go in much detail. But the only thing that I'll, from time to time, I'll keep telling some of the differences. One of the differences was PIP was not a part of a Python 2.7 and 2.8, so you had to actually manually install it. But the good thing about now with python.org is that you get PIP as a bundle on it. And what PIP does is it's basically push and pull sort of a thing, or rather pull thing. So if you want to install any package, like I was saying earlier, right, tomorrow you can come up with a package and name it like ankit.py or any package of that sort, and you may want anybody else to use it. So that is a package, and that can reside anywhere in the cloud, on my machine, or anywhere in the internet. All you need is internet connection. Then anybody can go ahead and make use of it by installing it. So you guys might have heard about Django, NumPy, SciPy, all these things. So these are all nothing but packages. So so to get the packages, this is the installer, or this is the utility that Python gives us. So how you do that is go to your command line of your system, and let's first see. Once you, so that is a good check. Once you've installed Python, give python dot dash dash version, and you'll see if something like this comes up, that means your Python is successfully installed. If this doesn't come up, that means there's a problem with your installation, and we can talk about it later. Then if you want to see the version of PIP, you can do the same thing with PIP dash dash version, and it tells you this version is already installed on it. Now, as I was saying, you can use PIP to install different packages. So let's say, forget what NumPy is for now, just understand it's a package in Python. But let's say my requirement from the field was that I have to use NumPy package, then I would go ahead and do this, PIP install NumPy. I already have it in my system. That's why it says requirement is already satisfied. But generally, if you're doing it for the first time, it will, and you have to have internet access, of course, it will finish in like few seconds. So you've asked me a question now that Ankit, where are all these packages? Like you're talking about NumPy, and there's so many packages. There are like thousands of packages actually. There's something called as SciPy. There's something called as Django. Django is the backend for web development. So there's so many packages for somebody was saying he's working in networking and stuff. So you need something called as Paramiko with another package. You might need SSH Connect. That is for your networking devices, how you do SSH to it. So if you want to automate that piece, and especially in DevOps people, you would need this a lot. SSH Connect is the package name. So that these are all packages in Python, which are not inbuilt when you download this from the organization, but they have been created and available for general public use, which means it's an open source. So you can download it and then you can start installing it, and then you don't even have to worry for bigger problems how you can solve those because you have that package. So the question that comes to my mind is when I was reading it, where are all these packages? Like who is storing them where? Or what are these, where are these stored basically? So, like I said, all you need is an internet. By the way, let me ask this question. Does anybody know where these are stored and what are these, like in a nutshell?
If I'm not wrong, those packages are stored in cloud and we download from there.
Yes, that's correct. Absolutely right. So that's what I was saying. You need an internet connection. And today everybody knows if you have to get anything from cloud, you need an internet connection. Now, let me tell you where in cloud they are actually stored. So
Ankit,
there's a, yep, go ahead.
I have small doubt.
Sure.
Which showed the screen right in the command prompt. That all those things are, if I download only, it will be show, right? Only Python installation, it won't be show all those things, right?
No, so that's why I was saying, right? I started with this. First thing, you have to install Python, like I said,
Yes, yes,
from the org. Once you have that, you'll test it by giving this command python dash dash version. That means your
yes,
Python
yes.
is done. Once you do this, then you'll get pip. And with pip only, I'm installing all these. So pip is like I was saying, right? I think it stands for Python installation utility or something like that. A Python installation package or something like that. So this is what you use to install all the packages. So definitely you need pip and definitely you need Python.
I have a small doubt.
Sure.
If in Python as well as Script, all those things we are using in one ID, one software, we can get all those programs, right? Any difference?
I don't think so. I get your question. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, in Python as well as Script, NumPy, and
Hmm.
Django. These are all things we can able to write programs in Python, right? For ideally,
Right. Yeah, you can if you want to. But it's not
yeah.
scalable and it's not feasible in idle.
Any
Because see,
differences?
no, there's no differences. It's idle is nothing but just like you're doing it here, right? You can do it there also. The the reason why I was saying you should not use idle is because you will not be able to save it in a file format. And see, today you're just doing like I was showing you, right? You're just doing A plus B. Tomorrow you'll be writing thousands and thousands of lines of code. It would be
Okay.
practically impossible to run on this.
Mhm.
There is a way, but that's a very challenging way. So what you do is you download utilities like these. They make your life so easy. And I'll show you when we go to VSC. They will give you so many hints and so many, how do I say, ease of working with it that you would not even have to worry about what is the syntax. That's why I was saying VSC really helps. Even it automatically completes your syntax most of the time. It even tells you if your syntax is wrong, even while you're writing the code. But all that in idle, like it didn't show me here, right? Well, this is not even an error. Let, for example, this one. If I write, so until I executed, I hit enter. Until I hit enter, this didn't give me an error, right? But if I was writing the same line in VSC, it will show this as red. So I already know, okay, I am doing something wrong. So right now, sorry, I was looking at Harsha's message. So right now you are thinking it's just one line, what is a big deal? But think when you have 10,000s of lines, you cannot copy paste every line here and see, right? So that's why idle is only more like a small tool to test your stuff, not rather develop stuff. When you have to develop, you have to write long, long lines of code, and you definitely want some IDE to work with.
Ankit, we can
Okay.
compare this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Ankit, we can compare with that idle like that old C and C++ when we used to write then long back.
Yeah, I don't want to go C++ route because I don't know if people would know C++, right? That was Nirmal, right?
Yeah, yeah. Means we used
Yeah.
to write in that blue screen window or black screen window.
Correct. Correct. Even in in times of basic also, I don't know if
Uh,
anybody knows. There was
actually,
a language called basic.
Turbo C was very old. Turbo C was very old, and it only has you have to develop libraries. Okay, a lot of voids, a lot of libraries you have to write as a programming. Where in Python it is already built-in libraries. So when you type in it, it will show you for a you can take a help from there. So Python, you no need to worry about Python. So it comes with large number of libraries where it is not same with the Eclipse for Java or Turbo C for C++.
Correct. That's also
Yeah,
a good point.
thanks, Asha.
So I just pinged this. Sorry, who asked that original question? Did I answer your question? I forgot who that person was before Nirmal. Okay, I take it as a yes. So you can download Windows or Mac if you're using MacBook. And again, like I said, 64-bit is better if you have a machine like that. So these are the two softwares that really help you start with. Uh, where was I? Okay, so I was talking about the packages and the um, so somebody answered that you can find this in cloud, but again in cloud, and that is the right answer, they are in cloud. But even with cloud, they have to reside somewhere, right? Like a repository. Cloud itself is a repository. So then you go to pypi.org. This is the place, and this is an official place where all the Python packages are stored. Like it says, Python package index is a repository of software for the Python programming language. So you can ask, Ankit, how did you know this command? It's very simple. Tomorrow, if you want to work on Django, just type Django here. You'll see a bunch of documentation. Click on this. First thing itself, it will tell you pip install Django. You can directly copy from here and go and paste it there. So this is how you get all the information about the packages that are a part of Python. They store all the packages here. So you don't really have to worry about getting something else from somewhere and working on it. Let's see another example, NumPy. See, it's right here, pip install NumPy. So these three websites, I mean, these two basically are very important. And again, if you, let me go back to Django. If you look at this is the latest version. It also talks about the documentation. It directly gives you a link. So the best part about these websites is, and why do I keep saying them, is they have not just into the installation part, but they also have tutorial and the first steps how you can go ahead with it. Like I learned Django using this itself. Like what is the view, what is the template, what are the forms in Django. They have detailed information here, so you can go through it if you want to, if you want to learn these packages, and they will help you a lot. They have even examples there, like real code. You just have to copy that code and paste it in your IDE, and boom, you get it working. So especially Django, I see their documentation is very well. Same thing I think for SciPy and NumPy. Of course, there are third-party stuff, and you can do Google all the time, and you can get all those things as well. But this is a good place to start. So tomorrow, if you ask me, Ankit, if there's a book that I can follow, here's your book right there. You don't need to buy anything, or you don't need to go anywhere. It's all free and available to everybody. So any questions on that? Okay, let me fire up Visual Code. So once you have it installed, again, it'll look something like this. You can click on it and this window will open up. So just a very brief idea about it. I'm not going to go in detail. You can explore it later. So if you look at this is more like an explorer basically, where you can create your folders and stuff. This is if you want to search in the entire package. If you have like a bunch of files, then you would want to search on it. And this is source control. This is very important for developers, especially even for DevOps people. You guys might have heard about Git and all. So you can directly connect your Git repository using this directly here. You don't have to worry about going to Git, pushing, pulling, and all those stuff. That's why I said this is a very, very useful code, and a lot of developers use it. Run is just to run your thing. This is one thing that I wanted to talk about. It's a very, very useful feature that takes away almost 60 to 70% of your headache. So all you need is just an internet connectivity. And just like in Google Chrome, you have extensions, you have extension here. So type, for example, Python. There will be something as lint debugging and multi, whatever that is. This is really a great tool. And we'll see when we go ahead with the few days what it will do. But it really helps you a lot. So similarly, if you were doing, let's say if there's something for Django, might be, you never know, somebody might have written, yeah, it's already there, I've already installed it, Django templates and stuff. So you can keep in, so let's say if this was not installed, it will show something like this as install, and then you can install it. You can also read about it, what it does, and if you want to see if it's really helpful for you or not. So that's why I was saying initially that VSC, Visual Studio Code, really helps a lot. So I would be using this, up to you guys, whatever you want to use. And this is if you want to test your program. And so for me, it shows MongoDB. You guys, it won't show because I was working on some database project and I had this installed here. So Harsha is asking that, so Harsha, it's better you ask by unmuting yourself, because I might not be looking at the chat all the time. But it's a good question that you're saying that PyCharm is also good, and he's asking my opinion. So if you ask my personal opinion, I prefer this guy, but I know PyCharm, and I think I have PyCharm too. Yeah, I do have PyCharm. It's from JetBrains. So what I was doing with PyCharm was, I think I was talking to somebody earlier also. There's a tool called Robot. It uses Python and Selenium in the underlying thing. I was using it for my official stuff. So you can use it to automate a lot of stuff. So maybe not today, we're running short of time, but some other day I'll show you a program which I wrote, which will in Robot, which will automatically open Amazon for me. Amazon, everybody knows, right? We love to shop on Amazon, at least I do. So it will automatically open the Amazon in a browser that I tell it to be. It could be IE, could be Chrome, or could be anything. And then it will automatically search for a product that I want to search on. I don't even have to do anything, just double click on a program and sit back and see the magic. And then it will find out whichever is the cheapest option for me, and then it will add it to cart and then just leave it there. I didn't want it to go ahead and even go ahead for buying it, because you never know, it's a machine ultimately, right? So all these things you can do very easily, but for that I use PyCharm, because Robo's framework tells you to, again, not tells you, recommends you to use that. So again, it's a personal choice, Harsha. I personally prefer Visual Studio Code, even though I've used PyCharm. But if you are using PyCharm, feel free to use it. It's not really much of a difference. And the other Harsha just said it's good when you're developing products. Exactly. So when you're in a real world developing a product or a server, for example, application server or something on that, then PyCharm and Jupyter is good. If you ask me personally, I would go with Jupyter than PyCharm, because Jupyter has a lot more in-depth stuff that you can use. But again, that is a little out of scope. That is more useful when you go for data science and stuff. Excuse me. So, sorry, did I answer your question? I guess he's on mute. Okay, let me go back where I was. So like I was telling you, you guys won't see this leaf-like thing. Ashwin, you had a question?
Yeah, everyone. You said robo here.
Right.
Means robo is the what he any software?
Yes, it's a tool, basically. You can install it. It's also free, open source. And then you can, let me see, this is my personal laptop. I might have it. No, I
Okay, it's
don't think
written
so.
in Python before you said that the same
Correct.
one? Robo
Correct,
tool.
correct,
Okay.
correct, correct. It's basically using 80% of Selenium and Python underlying. So you use, if you're aware of Selenium, it's another automation tool, then Robo is very easy. But again, it all
Okay.
uses Python everywhere. It's the same way. And I was just telling you,
Okay, it's tool like this is this is I like VS Code, right? IDE
no, VS
like
Code is
that
an
Robo.
IDE. No, 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 no. I think you're getting confused, Roshan. VS Code and PyCharm are all IDEs. IDEs basically, you know Notepad, right? Everybody knows Notepad.
Okay, okay.
So
Yeah,
like
it compile
Notepad,
code like that.
yes,
Yeah.
Notepad with compiler basically, or with interpreter, I should say. So that is the
Okay.
only thing what we want to call as IDE. But when you talk about tools like Robot, Selenium, they don't give you, they do give you an IDE of their own, not like something like this, but they also package a lot of other Python packages and stuff. And that making use of that, you just write simple programs. Like for example, I was telling you about Amazon, right? So what you will do is it'll say, it has its own syntax, but it'll say open space connection space the name of the URL. So I'll give Amazon there. So but somebody has actually written a code, right? Like if you just type Google open connection Amazon, it won't work. So somebody has written already a code for it, and that they have put under a package and given to us, so that we don't have to worry about that part. We have to worry about the next part, or rather, we should say we are extending it to the next part, that we are using that tool to automate some stuff. Similarly, you can automate a small application where you can ask your computer to tell you every day's weather and things like that. So Python, like I said, it's totally up to your imagination. You can do a lot. I'm sure you guys would have heard about Siri, Google, and Alexa, and all these things, right? Is there anybody who hasn't heard about it? Okay, take it as a no. So all these are built using Python. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. There's an inbuilt TTS engine, text to speech and speech to text, which makes use of Python in the internal layer, and they package it with their own Amazon, if it is Alexa, if it is Google, or if it is Siri's, Apple's, they package their own stuff on top of it. So it, like I was saying in the beginning, Python is left to your imagination, how you want to use it. It is giving you a set of guidelines. It is up to you how you want to use it. Like I was saying, right? We don't have, at least I haven't heard any application where you can create a bridge or create a blueprint of a bridge, for example. So who knows, our civil engineer guy, friend could do that. It's very much possible. So that's the whole idea of Python being the basic layer, and then on top of it, you have your APIs and you have your whatnot, and you do extra coding on it. Was it clear, Ashwin?
Yeah, Ankit.
Perfect.
I
And
I will
Alfred,
search on more on Google for Robocop tool.
yeah, it's a very good tool actually. If you want to explore it, it's a very good tool for
Yeah.
automation people, and it's
Okay.
very
Okay.
much in demand also these days. Even I am learning as I'm talking. I've done like almost more than half of it. But that is for my official project, not really for my own stuff. Harsha, a friend, also pinged that Ansible CM tool is built on Python. So I didn't knew that. See, Ansible is a tool which is used in DevOps. All DevOps people would know it, and that is also built on Python. So there are so many tools in the modern world today that they are built on Python. You name it, and most of them would have something to do with Python. All right. I know we are a little over time, but I will close soon. So I just want to go with this quickly. So like I was telling you about this leaf-like structure you would not see because I have MongoDB, or if you have any other database going forward, once you integrate, you'll have stuff like this. And this is just the settings and stuff. So if you have to, let's say, start something, go ahead and open a new workspace. Where did it go? And then you can give it any name, Python, what is it? November 2020. Sorry, I was not opening workspace. I want to do this. Python November 2020. What's happening? Maybe it's new window. No. No, not new window. Okay, I'll fix this later. There's something wrong. But anyways, for you, when you fire it up first time, new workspace option will come, and you can just create a new workspace, whatever name you want, and then you can create a new file like this, like I just did. And then what you have to do is you have to save it as, can anybody guess? What is the extension for a py folder, Python folder, or Python program? It's actually py. So you see, the moment I changed it from text, this Python symbol started coming automatically, and you see these two things started coming automatically. So this is a very important thing. Whenever you're done with the file, you just click on this and it will start running. Let me quickly show you something in action. So you see, this is what I was telling you. This is the beauty of visual code. If I was writing it right, it would not show as blue. See, it is giving me this, I don't know what do you want to call this underline thing, that this is something wrong and you might want to change it. So you just press on tab and it auto corrects it. That is the beauty of VSC. So if you are going anywhere wrong, and see it also, I'm not doing anything. This is automatically coming. This is like a help. It tells you what the print function does. Of course, you don't understand this right now, but you will understand it by the end of this course, what it means. But at least it is there for your help. So that's it. And you just save it. And like I said, you just run it. And you see the output right here. This window automatically comes up. You can play around with this for this window if you want to compare two programs and whatnot. So this is just a brief overview that I wanted to give you guys about the code, because we'll start actual stuff from tomorrow, specifically coding and whatnot. One second, guys. Yeah, this is just open. Just bear with me for a second. So this is what I was trying to tell you. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. 1 second. So if you go to your command prompt, remember this was hello.py. This file was saved here. I saved it. Now I just go ahead and what happened? Why is it not copy pasting? Yep, and you just run it like this. There you go. You see the output right here, hello world. Now what you can do is you can write more stuff here, print then this is my first class, or whatever you want to do. I'm just doing something for the heck of it. Control S saves it, and then you can go ahead, go back to your command prompt and run it again. See? So whoever asked that question earlier about idle, right? This is the main difference, that you need an IDE basically, and you can directly run the file name itself. You can save it as .py extension, and that will be your Python file for you. So today you might think Ankit is telling me all this. This is just 2 lines of code. Of course, this is just the beginning, and you might not appreciate this as much. But as and when we go ahead, and you'll see when we write hundreds of lines of code here, then you'll see what I'm saying, that why do you want an IDE and how does it really help? So that was pretty much for today. I think we can call it a day, and we can start from tomorrow about variables and data types in Python. That will be an important session. So all those guys who are freshers and who are still in the early stages, I would recommend you to connect in the few sessions for sure, or at least if you're not able to for some personal reasons, make sure you go through the recording, because the next few days sessions are your building blocks. If you miss this, for example, I'm going to talk about data types, I'm going to talk about int, float, and all those stuff. But if you miss what is that, or if you miss what a list is the most important building block of Python. But if you miss that, then all the future sessions are not going to help you. So I can only request you, either you should join the session and ask questions, or you can go through the recording in your free time. Just before we hang up, I know there's Diwali in India, and do you guys want to continue the session tomorrow and maybe take a break after that in the next week, or do you guys want me to start on Monday?
Hello.
Yeah.
Ankit, I want to say one thing is that at the time of festival, we can't able to listen and proper to concentrate because use of sound in Hyderabad as well as in India.
Right.
Because everyone is celebrating, we can't able to say something else. And that
Yeah, I'm
too this
fine.
time.
You guys have to tell me. I don't want to end up just taking a class for 2 people because only 2 people show up. So let's do one thing. Let's see if everybody wants to. So you guys can put it in WhatsApp that ways, and we'll see if I have at least 7 or 8 people who are willing to do it, I would take a session. Otherwise, we'll meet on Monday. And the other thing
Or
is
else,
these sessions. Sorry, go ahead.
give me some work to because we will concentrate on that. We will up to listening class. Before that, we will learn about those things. At the time we listening, it will be easy for us to understand the
Right.
concept.
No, I understand that, Sriram, but as of now, I don't think so I can give you a task. It's just that you have to download and install those packages. That's all, because I have to still
Yeah,
explain the basics. So what I'm saying is, let's do one thing. If 7 or 8 people at least say that they want a class tomorrow as well on the same time, then I'll go ahead with it. and the rest can hear to the recording, because weekend is anyways, we are not taking the sessions. So I want to also want to reiterate that the classes would be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I cannot take it on Wednesday because I have a lot of meetings, work meetings. This will be the pattern going in the beginning. Then later, once everybody knows basics and all, we might extend it to weekends as well. So and weekends and Wednesdays for you to practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is also okay for us. Means day after tomorrow. I mean that Saturday. Saturday and
No,
Sunday it
Saturday,
will.
Sunday, yeah. No, not this Saturday, Sunday. So right now the weekends would be free. So I'm sorry, I should have told this in the beginning. So as of now, for the few weeks, I can say the weekends and Wednesday would be free for you. Yesterday was an exception because I had an off, but and again, we can talk about this in our WhatsApp going forward. What most people want, if everybody is willing to take it on a weekend, I have no issues. I study on my weekends anyways. I'm also doing a lot of courses and stuff. So I'm happy to take a session. It's up to you guys. So the whole thing will work as per you guys, however you want it. If you say, Ankit, it's getting too much, let's call it a day, I'll stop it. If you're okay, we can do it on weekends. However you guys want it. So we can take that up on WhatsApp, okay?
Yeah, I'm interested in weekends.
Sorry, I
I'm
missed you.
interested in weekends. Weekends. Saturday, Sunday, anyway, it's all day for us.
This Saturday, Sunday, you're saying? This Saturday, Sunday would be Diwali, right?
No, not about this Saturday, Sunday.
Okay,
Means
going forward. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Sriram, but we'll have to ask others also, right? What if so like I said, I would go ahead with a session if at least I get 7 to 8 people. And if 7 to 8 people are available, even this weekend, I'm ready to do that. So it all depends on you guys. You guys
Yeah.
have to tell in the WhatsApp group and then we'll take a call.
Okay.
Sounds fair?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is, and again, this is no way I'm trying to be biased or anything, but one person, whoever you guys or some volunteer I need, who can do these things for me, that in the WhatsApp they can see are there people interested to join or not, and then he or she can tell me that, hey Ankit, we are interested, or 7 people are interested to join in this weekend class. Then we'll go ahead with it. So can I get one
Okay.
such person who can help me?
I am.
Sorry, Sriram, you can do that.
Yeah. Just for
Yeah.
preparing a class, right?
Yeah, just tell me that, Ankit, I mean, because I am a part of so many groups, I would lose track and I would not be counting this, right? So just tell me that, Ankit, this week. So tell me by Thursday that, Ankit, this weekend we have 7 or 8 confirmed people who are going to be on the class. Then we'll have the class on that particular weekend.
I mean that is it for regular classes or else a particular Saturday, Sundays?
Again, totally up to you guys. If you want just a question and answer session, we can do that. If you want a class, we can do the class. Like I said, I'm completely going by you guys, however you want me to do. I don't want to jump or I don't want to, force anything. Totally up to you guys.
Okay.
So that's why I needed a volunteer, Shriram, that you can ask people that, hey guys, do you want a question answer session? Do you want a session first of all on the weekend? If you want, should it be a question answer? Should it be a regular class, continuation of a class? And then you tell me by Thursday or Friday max that, Ankit, this is what the group has decided. And by group, I mean at least 7, 8 people.
Fine.
Then the rest can follow on the video. Make sense?
Fine.
Sounds fair to everybody? All right, so I think we can call it off today. And the other thing I wanted to say was the recording takes a bit of time to convert. So don't ping me right after the class, Ankit, can I get the recording? I will post it on the group. It will be a link like I posted yesterday. I know some people joined after that. So you just click on that link, that meeting ID will open up and the whole recording will be there. There's a download button to it. You can download it. So I would recommend downloading it and keeping it, because like I said in the beginning, this goes deleted pretty soon. And I forgot to stop the recording. Let me stop the recording now.